Okay, let's get this road to director training going. I am going to share my screen for you guys. Today we are talking about objections. So I have an objection playbook here to help you all go director. And in order to hit director, you have to know how to answer objections when you are sharing this business with people. I have been in network marketing. Oops. I've been in network marketing for 7 years now in August. It'll be 7 years. So I have lots of experience. Oh, why is it? You guys, I just got a new laptop and you would think I've never had a laptop in my life. I'm trying to open up the chat. There you go. Um, but I've been in network marketing for 7 years now, and I have hit the top rank of companies. I've earned cars with this company. If you have not met me yet, my name's Kat. I probably should have started with that. I've earned over 15 brand trips with this company. Or with in network marketing. I just got back from Mexico with pharmacy. I'll be going to Turkey in August. So I am very familiar with answering objections, with enrolling people, with hitting ranks in this company, and you need to know how to answer objections in order to build your team because 90% of people will tell you no before they tell you yes. And usually it's the best people that I have ever enrolled that have told me no when I first offered this kind of business to them. So in this training, I'm going to teach you guys how to confidently respond to the most common objections that you get in network marketing. I asked in the chat last night what you guys wanted help with, and the first like six I included in this training. So I'm going to give you guys a little overview of objections and how to answer them, and then we'll do a little bit of role playing, and then at the end, I will do a Q&A if you guys still have more questions. So let's get this started. So when it comes to objections, I want you guys to know that objections are very normal when it comes to this business. Think about objections as interest plus uncertainty. So don't think like just because someone says no to you, right, and tells you why they don't want to do something, that they're not interested in this business. So maybe you're brand new to network marketing, to sales, and you're like, what is an objection? An objection is when you offer pharmacy to someone or when you tell someone that, hey, I think you'd be really good at what I do. Have you ever thought about earning money online? And they tell you something like, I don't have enough time. Or they give you a reason as to why they can't do this with you. That is an objection. But when someone has an objection, it's interest plus uncertainty. And sometimes when we receive an objection, we just think that they're not interested, but it's not uninterest. It is interest plus uncertainty. So today we're going to reframe what objections are. If you currently have resistance towards objections, today we're going to reframe your resistance into possibility. So objections are so normal, they're even good for your business. So we want you to shift your mindset and to know that objections equals interest plus uncertainty. If someone is giving you an objection, it means that they thought about it. You can't receive an objection from someone that didn't think about doing this with you. They thought about it and they thought about why they wouldn't be good at it. It's bad when someone doesn't respond to you, right? But even me, I got started in this business and I ignored the person that got me into network marketing for 3 months. She messaged me over 7 times and I never responded to her, but she kept coming back. And I was like, you know what? This girl is passionate about what she's doing. Let me take a look at it. So even getting ghosted sometimes isn't so bad, but if someone's responding to you and they're giving you objections, it means that they thought about it. They pictured themselves doing it and then they pictured why it wouldn't work for them. So now it's time for you to reframe it and see these objections as possibilities and even topics for you to create content on, because if one person has one of these objections, then multiple people have these objections and you have the opportunity to reframe their resistance into possibility with pharmacy. So objections equals interest plus uncertainty. And they are good, they are normal, and we are going to shift our mindset today. So, let's talk about the psychology of objections. I'm going to go over what people say versus what they mean and where most objections come from. They come from fear, not fact, and our job is to lead with empathy and not pressure. So, let's first talk about what people say versus what they mean. People don't always express their real reason as to why they aren't joining with you. It's usually just the surface level objection, the surface level reason. And when one thing that I've learned about talking to people online about the business, in person about the business in my last 7 years is that potentials lie. They don't tell you the real reason as to why they don't aren't ready to join you at that moment. They lie. Whether it's I don't have money, they have money, they just don't want to give it to you. They have time, they just don't want to spend it on doing this. And our job is to educate and demonstrate to them until they understand why it's worth their money, why it's worth their time. So people don't always express that real reason. And usually, what most people say, this is the top three that we all probably get, is I don't have the money. Drop a one in the chat if you're currently in a conversation with someone that told you they don't have $10 for the sign up fee. Right? So usually it's not just I don't have the money, it's I'm not sure it's worth the investment yet. Or they're saying, I don't have time. Drop a two in the chat if you're having a conversation with someone that told you they don't have time for this business. Usually, what they might mean is, I'm overwhelmed and I don't know how to fit this in. And drop a three in the chat if you're talking to someone that said, let me think about it. It's the best one. Let me think about it. Usually, what they might mean is, I'm scared to fail or get judged. And a big tip on this is don't take objections at face value. Our goal is to ask curious follow-up questions so that they know we're genuinely caring about them. We're not just trying to make a quick sale. We have seen how this business has changed our life, how it's changing lives of every single person on this call, whether it's financial, whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical, whether it's, your confidence from, confidence to your wellness, to your mental health, to your faith. There are so many ways that people are changing their life in pharmacy. So, our goal is to ask follow-up questions and genuinely care about the person and think about how we got started and how we felt when someone first reached out to us, or how scared we were when we were looking at this opportunity. I know I was so nervous to get started with pharmacy. And, if I'm nervous and I've been in network marketing for 7 years and I know how to enroll people and I know how to create content and I know how to talk on Instagram and I was scared, imagine someone that has never had experience in this business. So you want to ask, what would need to feel different for this to feel like a good time for you? What would need to feel different for this to be worth your time? Or even how much would you need to make for you to say yes to this? And we have such a generous compensation plan with our 50% commission that if they're like, if I can make $500 a month, this would be worth it for me. That's what, $250 what is that? To make $500 a month, you need to sell $1,000 a month and you get $500 in commission, 50%, right? So don't take the objections at face value. You want to ask follow-up questions. What would you need to feel different for this to feel like a good time? What is money the only thing that's stopping you? Right? And I'm gonna go into all of these objections one on one at the end, so we can break those down in a little bit. But usually, what people say to you when you first reach out to them, it's not gonna be what they mean right off the bat, especially if you just followed them on Instagram. You're just building a connection. They aren't comfortable with opening up to you yet. But over time, as they see that you genuinely care about them, they'll start to tell you, like, you know, hey, Monica, I've been watching you, and I know at first I told you that I didn't have time for this, but I'm honestly just like so nervous to like get started, and I don't know how I can fit this in with my schedule. I drop my daughter off at school at 8 a.m., and then my son has soccer practice after I take her to school, and then I have to go home and cook dinner for my husband, and then I have to give my kids a bath, and then, they're overwhelmed with their own home life. And then once they open that up to you, then you can share, like, look, I totally understand, and I'm going to give you guys a framework on how to do that. But just like knowing that what they say off the bat isn't what they mean. And once you really get to know them and ask follow-up questions, you're gonna get to peel the layers and know what they really mean by these objections. So a lot of the time we take objections so personally, and then we think we're failures, and then we think no one's going to join this business, and then we think that we're never going to be successful. But know that it's just surface level, and there's something more deeper. So most objections come from fear and not fact. Objections usually reflect an emotional hesitation, not a logical barrier. So fear of failure, they're thinking, what if I can't do this? They have fear of judgment. What will people think if I try this? And then they have a fear of wasting time or money. What if it doesn't work out? Drop a 10 in the chat if you have felt any of this prior to joining pharmacy, or even now you're in pharmacy, you're on the trainings, and you're scared to take action in your business. You've already gotten started, but you're afraid to take that next step because you think, what if I post and it's not going to work? What is my sixth grade friend that I haven't seen in the last 10 years gonna say about me if I make my launch post? Am I wasting time? Should I return my box? I have people that get started and they don't even have their box yet. They're like, I think I want to return my package. So people have, this fear, but it doesn't come from fact. So our role is to create safety, to help them see what is possible, not just what's scary. So be with them, tell them, I totally get that. That's why I'm here to support you every step of the way, and maybe give them, a story of how you were scared in a moment of your business. And even if they don't join right away, you're building a relationship that shows them that you care, that will help them shift their resistance into possibility instead of resistance. So, our job is to lead with empathy and not pressure. And I'm guilty of this. How many of you have pressured someone into purchasing from you at 11:30 p.m. on the 30th or the 31st of the month because you need to hit a certain rank, you need to hit a certain goal? Our job is not to pressure people, but to be leading with empathy. The more they feel like we are here for them versus we are here for us, the more likely you are going to have sales that don't come with resistance. So your role isn't to push someone into joining or purchasing products from you, it's to guide them through their uncertainty. People don't want perfect, they want to feel heard. And sometimes that comes with them not buying right at that moment. Sometimes people respect you for not forcing them to purchase a product, and you'll have a customer for a longer amount of time instead of that one time because they gave you a pity purchase. Right? We don't want pity purchases. We want customers for a lifetime. And I've had people join and be like, Kat, I joined you because you didn't force me to purchase. And they buy a huge amount of products. So our job is to have empathy. Empathy builds trust, and trust opens doors. So our goal is to be a coach, not a closer. Sometimes we're like, how can I close this? How can I close this? How can I close this? But if we shift our mindset to how can I coach this person into believing in themselves, they're gonna want you to mentor them. They're going to want to be around you because how many people are in their life right now telling them that they can do more than what they're already doing? How many people are in their life right now giving them a roadmap on how to reach the highest version of themselves, on how to get out of the current situation that they're in, that believes in them, that they're not their current circumstance, that you see more in them. There's not, I know I don't have like hundreds of people like that in my life until I came into this space, right? So be a coach, not a closer, and you're gonna see people gravitating towards you because of how you are leading with empathy and how you're coaching them instead of pressuring them and closing them. So, an example response might be, I hear you. Honestly, I had the same doubts when I started. Can I share with you what helped me shift that? Right? So, have empathy instead of pressure. You always want to assume that they're closer than they think. And I think when we have trouble with closing people, and I know I said don't be a closer, I know that contradicts. When we have trouble with like just closing that sale or enrolling that beauty influencer, it's because we don't have faith that they're close to getting started. We think, oh, they're never going to do this. We think, oh, this isn't for them. But we always want to assume that they are closer than they think. We always want to assume they're going to see me be consistent with this. They're going to see all of the wins that I'm about to post. Pharmacy is in their best year that they've ever had. And anyone that comes close to pharmacy is going to win right now. And if we assume that they are closer than they think, the way that we work, the way that we share content, the way that we have conversations, it's gonna look so much different and they're gonna feel that passion. They're gonna feel that compassion and that empathy of your belief in how people are gonna be successful in this space. And they're gonna be like, well, Erica's gonna be successful in pharmacy whether I join or not. I should join her. So they're closer than you think. So you should believe that they're closer than they think to clicking join now. So let's talk about reframing framework. I'm going to give you guys a method that is going to help you have conversations so you're not messaging in the chat every day and you're allowed to, but so you don't have to wait on someone else on your team to help you answer your conversations. Of course, we are here to help guide you. We want to help you answer all of your conversations, but wouldn't it be so nice to not have to wait on one of your leaders to respond to your potential and that you could be on your own time frame, that you can answer people on your own schedule and you don't have to wait for someone to tell you how to say something. So today, I pray that I give you the confidence to start having conversations that are going to help you move the needle in your business without needing someone else. So I'm going to introduce to you all the 3R method. This is going to be recognize, relate, and reframe. So you want to recognize your future beauty influencer, you want to relate to your future beauty influencer, and you want to reframe their objection. So recognizing them, acknowledging the concern that they have without resistance. A lot of the time we have resistance when our potentials tell us that they don't have time. We just say, "Okay, no worries. Thanks for responding. Sorry, it's not the right time for me right now." And then you don't even respond back because you're just so resistant or you have fear too. So recognize the concern. Maybe they're saying, "I don't have time for this right now." For me, this is my response because this is my story. I say, "Look, I totally understand. I didn't get started for 3 months because I thought I didn't have the time. I totally feel you." And I acknowledge it. I totally feel you. I worked from 9 a.m. at my daytime job till 4 p.m. And then I had to finish my schoolwork in between before going to my next job from 6 p.m. to midnight. And then I wouldn't get home till around 1. I would have to shower. And then wake up and do it all over again. So I totally understand not having the time. So I recognize the concern without resistance. I wasn't offended that she said she didn't have time. And then I shared a similar experience or story. And then I'm going to reframe it. I'm going to be like, look, think about it. If, you're already getting up and getting ready to go to work, if you're already brushing your hair, if you're already putting on makeup, why not make money while you're busy? Why not add an extra stream of income that fits into your lifestyle while you're busy? Like what mascara do you use now? What what kind of hairspray do you use now? What lip gloss are you using now? Right? Maybe sharing things that you already know they're using, but not able to make a 50% commission on. What if I told you you could, make an extra 50% income while you are busy so that you don't have to stay busy? So recognize, relate, and reframe. Keep that in mind. let's go over some objection breakdowns and responses. A lot of you sent some in yesterday in our builder chat, so I'm very excited to go over these with you all. And if you have more, you guys can share them in the chat, and I will help you if it's not already on here. But let's look at the first one. I don't have enough money to get started. So we want to recognize I totally understand. Budgeting is real. And then we want to relate. Many of us started in the same spot, including me. And then I want to personalize this, right? So all of you have a different story on this call. What this recognize, relate, reframe scripts that I'm giving you, this is just like a broad response. You want to personalize everything that you're sharing. So recognize that they don't have the money and that budgeting is real, so they don't feel ashamed for telling you that they don't have enough money, and then relate to them. Many of us start in the same spot, including me. I had $200 left in my bank account before I got started in this, but I just told myself, it's not the worst thing I've spent $200 on. I mean, I've bought EDC tickets and that didn't make me any money, and I made the money back some way, somehow. And EDC didn't even give me the opportunity to make the money back, but I went back to work and I made the $200 again. So many of us started in the same spot, including me, and then personalize a moment where you were budgeting to get started in something or to get started in this. And, I know some people have stories where maybe, I'm not, I don't go to EDC anymore. Those days are over. That was all BC times, but just, relate to people and give them, a story that you have had and that they, might relate to. And then you want to reframe it. That's exactly why I felt like this opportunity can help you change that because I spent my last $200. Now I have my own apartment. Now I don't just end every month after bills with $200 in my bank account. I have time to, move money into my savings, and I want that for you too. So I would feel like I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't share it with you, especially if you feel like you don't have the money right now. I know you can have the money in the future, and this is here to help you change your current circumstance. So I like to offer flexible options. Maybe get started with the 1999 enrollment, and I can send you the welcome workbook so that you can see how you can start selling, to see that how, you can start sharing this with people so you do have an extra source of income and show that ROI, that return on investment. Even with a small start, one sale can flip your investment. So a good thing with pharmacy is that people can join for 19.99 and start earning 50% commission. Although I don't lead with that, I really lead and start the value at $125 because I used to sell $300 kits, $500 kits. So you never want to sell with your own wallet, right? Like a lot of the time we think that, because we have $300 in our account or we only have $1,000 and we have all these bills, like our budget is in our mind for the other people that we're speaking to. You never know who you're talking to. You never know who their husband is or who, they know that can help them. So offer flexible options and tell them even with a small start, one sale can flip your investment. So if you really don't have the 125 to get started, you can enroll for 19.99 and get a starter kit with samples. I do recommend if you can add a mascara, add a blush so that you can start creating content with it. And that one small, start can help you flip your investment 100%. 200%. If you sell $100 worth of product, you'll make $50 back and you only started for 19.99. So there really isn't much to lose. And I always end with a question. Is money really the only thing that's stopping you? Do you have any other concerns? And then they'll start opening up to you. So I always ask with whatever objection they give me, I always end it with an open-ended question. That means I'm asking them a question where they can't just respond yes or no. They have to give me a full answer. So I say, is money the only thing that's stopping you? Is, thinking you don't have enough time the only thing that's stopping you? So I always end it with a question, asking them if that objection is the only thing that's stopping them. Is this making sense for you guys? Cool. So now I'm second guessing. Hold on, my chat. I'm second guessing myself, or I don't have the belief. So maybe you have people that are like, it's just not for me. How many of you have that? It's just not for me. I'm just not that kind of person. And I tell them, recognize how they're feeling. That's a completely normal feeling in anything new that you're doing. When I started going to Pilates, the second I walked into that hot room, I'm relating to them. The second I walked into that hot room, I was like, what am I doing here? And I questioned myself the first time I took Pilates too. But you know what? The more I showed up, the easier it got. Even when I started this business, I was like, what did I just get into? I did not think I'd be leading Zoom calls. I did not think I'd be going live on Instagram. And I questioned myself when I first started. But, what I realized is that the more I show up, the easier it gets. And there's no growth in my comfort zone. So reframe it. Belief comes from action, not the other way around. I don't know if you have anyone in your life that's pushing you to be better, but I want to be that person for you and I see so much potential in you. You don't need full confidence to start. All you need is courage. Imagine, you do say yes and it does work out. Worst case scenario, you have a pretty blush that you can use. You have pretty lip gloss that you can use, but you really will never know unless you try. So why don't you get started? Try the products, hop onto our trainings, like feel out our community because you really won't know unless you come in and know. Is your belief in yourself the only thing that's stopping you? Because I believe in you. And then I try to get their perception, like why do you think that you're not, capable of this? They'll be like, I don't know, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I'm a nurse and I just don't see myself using social media like that. So our goal is to, invite them to watch other success in the team for inspiration. So what I would do in that situation, I'd say, you know what? You need to look at my friend Isa. She started this business with 300 followers, living in her house in Hialeah. Her office was her bedroom on her bed, and she had just given birth to her son. And now, we're looking 7 years later. She has her dream home. She doesn't have to clock in for a job. She never had to go to become a nurse after nursing school, and she's earned millions in this business. Like, what if it does work out? So invite them to watch other people's success on this team for inspiration. And this is why it's important that you guys also watch the opportunity calls because you can't know the stories on this team if you're not hopping on those calls to kind of hear everyone's story. Everyone has a different story, and the power of those opportunity calls are not just for our potentials, but it's also for all of us on this team to learn the different stories, the different success stories of what pharmacy has done for people on our team so that we can showcase it to other people. So I encourage you guys to maybe watch an opportunity call once a week for yourself. This is going to help you talk about the business because you're going to get to catch the language of how the other leaders share the opportunity so that, I don't know, drop a 5 in the chat if you're nervous to do an opportunity call. If you're scared to do a Zoom, and like if Isa were to message you today and say, "Hey, can you do tonight's opportunity call?" and you'd be scared, drop a 5 in the chat. There should be no fives in the chat. No one knows your story like you do. But I understand you guys because the first time I did an opportunity call, I got so hot. I got off, there was like sweat marks underneath my armpits. So if you feel like that, if you feel like you're uncomfortable to do an opportunity call or an opportunity live, sharing your story and inviting people into this business, you need to get uncomfortable with it because you're not going to be able to help answer people's objections if you can't even share your story. And you're gonna learn how to share your story by watching opportunity calls over and info calls over and over and over again until it sticks for you, right? Think about your favorite song that you've listened to 2,500 times. The same song that you've been loving since 2007. You know all the lyrics, you know all the ad libs, and it's because you've listened to it over and over again. So same goes for opportunity calls. The more you listen to them, you're going to get so comfortable with sharing this pharmacy opportunity, and ideas are going to start coming to your head where you can relate to whatever you're listening to and kind of reframe it into your story. So recognize, relate, and reframe, but you're not going to be able to relate and reframe if you're not watching the opportunity calls. And the only reason why you're uncomfortable to do an info call or do an opportunity call is because you haven't done the first one yet, or you haven't done it enough. So, like I said before, the more that you keep doing it, the easier that it gets. The best thing you can do for yourself is to chase after the things you're uncomfortable with doing. That's where confidence comes from. All right, so let's say you have someone that says, I don't have enough time or I'm too busy. I think this is the most popular one. This is like the easiest thing to say when you just don't want to talk to someone. So this is the surface level response. So you recognize, time is tight for a lot of people, especially right now. Many of our top leaders started while juggling jobs, kids, etc., and then personalize it. Like I told you guys earlier, for me, I worked two different jobs. I was a full-time college student and I had an internship. So I was basically working four jobs and I still didn't have enough money with my month. I needed more month to my money, and every time I'd pay my bills, I'd have $200 left. So, I needed another job, but I didn't have enough of cat. I didn't have enough arms. I'm not an octopus. So I was like, what can I do where I can earn money that fits into my lifestyle without having to physically be somewhere? And this just really fit into my lifestyle. I'm gonna get up to do my hair for work. I'm gonna get up and put on eyeshadow. I'm gonna get up and put on lip gloss. So honestly, this fits in to your lifestyle. You don't need to change your schedule to do it, and reframe it. Busy people are often the most successful in this business because they know how to prioritize. They're in front of people every single day and they have to get ready anyway. So highlight the flexibility. You can build this in the cracks of your day. I give you guys permission to tell people, my friend Kat, she was doing four different jobs and she worked this in her 15-minute cracks of her day. And now she has such a flexible lifestyle and she can choose her schedule and she does this full time. It's become her career. So highlight flexibility and share other success stories when you're answering objections. Ask people, what would having, more time look like for you? This could be that way there. Like, what would you do if you did have more time? And then you can get to know their like pain points. If I had more time, I'd take my daughter to ballet. If I had more time, I'd take, a family vacation with my family to Mexico. Like get to know what they want by asking questions. A great leader asks a lot of questions. All right, next objection. Maybe you get someone that says it's not the right time. So recognize, timing always feels tricky when we're stepping into something new, and relate. Most people never feel fully ready. It's about starting before you are. And then reframe. There's never a perfect time, but there is a powerful time, and that's now. And I always tell people, I know this sounds corny, but there's an ancient Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree is 25 years ago. The next best time is now. And I tell people with confidence, people that are getting close to pharmacy right now, they're seeing a lot of success. And I would be doing a disservice and if I didn't invite you into this right now and 3 years from now you're like, "Oh my gosh, I wish Kat invited me into this opportunity because I know pharmacy is going to be in everyone's household. I see what you do. You're already sharing products, and I just don't want you to miss out on what this could be for you. Is time the only thing that's stopping you?" So share how starting small now sets the stage for success later. How, the 15 minutes here, the 15 minutes there, turn your scroll into an income. If you have time to message me right now, you'll have time for this business. What if you let this be the thing that shifts your timeline? What if you let this be the thing that gives you more time? Like, you don't want to be busy forever, right? You don't seem like the kind of girl that would want to be busy forever. I think you seem like the kind of girl that's going to take control over your life. So learn how to own the conversation. You're the one that has the opportunity to change someone's life. You're the one that has been on the trainings. You're the one that knows what this could do for someone. Don't let someone tell you what this is going to do for them. You tell them what it's going to do for them and have that confidence that even if they don't join right now, she's going to get off this call. She's going to hear my confidence and she's going to watch me be consistent in my content. She's gonna watch me go to that next event. She's gonna come back to my page 2 months from now, watch my story, and see that I still stuck through this, even after the feelings have made me want to quit, even after the feelings have told me to give up. I still stayed persistent, and that person's gonna message you and say, "Hey, Monica, I've been watching you, and I know we talked 2 months ago. Can you tell me more about how to get started?" Because you're going to keep giving those exposures over and over and over again. But answering these objections are still so important because even if they don't sign up right away, the way that you answer your objections with confidence and recognize and relate and reframe, it's going to stay in their heart. It's going to stay in their mind while they watch your content, while you keep showing exposures, while you keep hosting events, while they see you at work with your makeup done, with your hair done. They're gonna see it and they're gonna be like, dang, Ashley's gotten so much more confident and she opened the door for me. She told me to do this with her. Maybe I should reach out to her. So you having the conversation, you answering the objection, it shows them that you do want to work with them and that, excuse me, that the door is open for them to reach back out to you. So even if people don't say yes right away, y you guys, can you guys see like when you guys see my screen, sorry, I just realized like I have the chat open on my Canva and I have like all of you to the left. Do you guys just see the Canva or do you see my chat open? No? Okay, cool. I was like, wait, they can't even see anything. Um, so anyway, yes, so you want to answer them so that they know the door is open. I always end my objections. If someone doesn't like sign up right then and there, I'm like, look, my door is always open for you. If you do change your mind, I would love to work with you. And I don't stop at the no. Don't stop at the no. So many people stop at the no, and then I end up enrolling their beauty influencer 6 months later because they gave up. Don't stop at the no. Keep on building a relationship. If you stop talking to them because they say no to you, they're gonna be like, "Yep, that girl just wanted my money. That girl didn't really care about me." But if you keep having a conversation with them, you keep engaging with their content, you keep giving them free value, they're going to be like, oh, wow, this girl is genuine. Maybe I should work with her. Or they're going to meet someone that is perfect for this pharmacy opportunity and they're going to recommend someone else to you. So every person you speak to knows a network that you don't know. So even if they don't say yes, you talk to them, you reach out to them, you explain the business, you answer the objections, and leave a good impression with empathy. They will meet someone and be like, wow, you'd be really great at what this girl Kat does. I talked to her yesterday. The opportunity wasn't for me, but I think you'd really like it. Can I connect you to on Instagram? You'll get referrals from people that have said no to you if you don't stop at the no. So don't stop at the no. What's this next one? I'm not a social media content person. I love this one. So recognize it. I totally get that. Not everyone loves being on camera or posting all the time. And then relate. I felt awkward at first too. Most people do. And then reframe it. The business isn't about perfection, it's about connection. and emphasize support. We teach you simple, authentic ways to show up online. I know it's easy to look at my content and think that it looks perfect, but I didn't start like this. I was actually really bad at creating content, but the resources that we give you make it so simple for you to succeed. You're not just going to show up one day and become good at this. You might have to be bad at first, but you have to be bad before you become good, before you become great. And we provide all of the training that you need to go from bad to good to great. So you're going to get to become part of our school. You're going to see our social media courses and our trainings, and you will get skill sets. Like, don't look at I would tell them, don't look at this as, I don't do social media. Look at this as an opportunity to grow in a new skill. You never know. You might like creating social media content. You just haven't been taught how to do it yet. And then I'll say, there are other ways to share this business too. If you don't want to learn social media, there are a lot of people that are successful with this by in-person conversations. You're gonna do your makeup and go to work and think about how many people have complimented your mascara. Think about how many people that have complimented your lip gloss or an outfit or asked you about a restaurant that you ate at because you decided to post the tacos. There's so many other ways to share this business. Don't overthink it. You don't have to become this social media influencer. You can influence people in person too, and we teach you how to do all of it. Is that the only thing that's stopping you? I always ask, is that the only thing that's stopping you? So you recognize, you relate, you reframe, and then you ask them, is that the only thing that's stopping you? Is there anything else that's stopping you? The next is I already work with another brand. I know a lot of us reach out to influencers because they're already doing what we do. So I would say, that's amazing. I'd recognize it. It's great that you're already building something. I'm not surprised. I reached out to you because I see that you're good at it. So I already assume that you are working with other people. And then relate. Many successful reps diversify their income streams. There's a lot of influencers that work with different brands. We have a wide range of products so that you don't need to stick to one thing. And then I would reframe. Pharmacy would probably complement what you're already doing. Imagine if, and then I would like reframe it and tell, let's say they are partnered with Rare Beauty, another makeup brand. And I'm like, look, that's amazing. You can post the Rare Beauty products. And imagine if you partnered with pharmacy and shared our wellness products. Think about every single person that has bought Rare Beauty with your code. Maybe you make a 15% discount, or 15% commission from it. But think about all of the friends that bought Rare Beauty from the person that ordered from you that you didn't receive a commission from. Pharmacy allows you to enroll beauty influencers, and you don't just make that one-time sale off the person that bought from you, but you can also earn a percentage from everyone they sell products to. So it would honestly complement what you're already doing, and you would be making more income. Would you want to make more income than what you're already making? Who's gonna say no? Who's gonna say, no, I don't want to make any more money, I'm good. So I would ask, would you be open to exploring how both could work together? Would you want to make, an extra 50% on top of what you're already making? And, like I said, position the unique selling points that we have with pharmacy, high commission, product variety, plus the community. And then to close this out, this is the objection playbook. Remember that objections are doors, they're not dead ends, and confidence will always come from consistent practice. Always lead with the value, the empathy, and the belief. So consistently practice answering these objections. I'm only able to share this with you guys because I've been told no so many times. I have had to learn how to answer objections and respond to people that I used to send large paragraphs. I used to cry when people would give me an objection. I used to get so frustrated and think no one would ever join my business, that I would never be able to lead a team, that no one would ever join me. And 7 years of consistency brings lots of confidence in this. You'll see yourself overcome a bunch. So I hope this was valuable to all of you. Also, I like to write down my objections. So we all have lists of people that we want to work with when it comes to this business. When you have a list of the people that you're working with and you reach out to them and they give you an objection, I write down what their objection was on my list. And when it's time for me to create content, I use those objections as content inspiration. Like maybe if someone said they didn't have time, I'll be like, if you think you don't have time to start a new business, and then I would put the objection like on the video. So, you know, me or maybe you're a mom and you have two kids and you do this business and someone with two kids also told you they didn't have time. You can maybe hold your two kids. I'm not tell and you don't have to do this. This is just a content idea that I had or and that I've seen. You could be like, I'm making my kids my reason, not my excuse. Something like that. So you can use objections as content inspo too, because a lot of people feel like that, not just the one person you spoke to. And answering objections will be good practice and good seeds planted for the people that come into your business. So I hope this was helpful. I will see you guys on the next Road to Director training and maybe DM me. DM me your biggest takeaway or write in the builders chat what your biggest takeaway was so that I can see what you guys got out of this. Love you. Bye.